during this very challenging time where we had to be forced to be separate from our friends and our colleagues, I was really grateful for this Anchor app, which has allowed me to continue the podcast after almost 1 year of working on it. It's free. You simply go to anchor.fm and download the app. And there you'll find all the tools that you need to record and edit your podcast, as well as to invite people onto your podcast through the app. Anchor also distributes the podcast for you on Apple, Spotify, and many other platforms. You have absolutely nothing to do except to record your podcast. If you have an ad like this, you can also make money. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. I would recommend it for anyone who wants to get their voice out there, has something to contribute. Go for it. Anchor.fm is where you go to download the free app and to get started. Good luck with your podcast. Hi, and welcome to a new episode of the Bees and Honey podcast. Today we're speaking with Sunny Setton De Poortere. She is a jewelry designer and artist. She's part of a wonderful twin who we also had here on the podcast a while back. She's going to tell us a little bit about her process and about her background and about the wonderful inspirations that bring about these works of art that we can wear. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy this. Good morning, Sunny. How are you?
Good morning, Nicolette. I'm good.
Good.
Thank you.
So we're live, and I was just thinking about your lovely name, Sunny. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got that name, how your mom and dad decided to name you as a twin, Sunny, and the other one, Joy?
Oh, good question. So yes, Sunny and Joy, which sound like very happy, hippie names. But in reality, my parents were not hippies. And I really don't know why they came up with such happy names. They wanted us to have the same initials. Everybody in the family is with S and J. Mm-hmm. So my dad said they have to be named with S or J. And my mom came up with those beautiful names. And I'm very happy because I must say, Nicolette, each time I meet someone and I say, my name is Sunny, people smile, and it's a nice way to start a relationship.
Yes. Well, I really do believe in the power of naming things and words. So yes, your mom gave you guys blessings from the start.
Absolutely.
And can you remember the first time you became interested in jewelry and jewelry design as a kid growing up?
Yes, so I was always, my eye was always drawn to gold and shiny objects. I can remember from when I'm 3-4 years old, I used to like, even the little plastic rings and the plastic fake rubies. I always liked jewelry. Mm-hmm. And but I didn't make it my profession until much later. Mm-hmm. So I used to work in television production, mm-hmm. and then I had children, and then I thought I want to have a job that I can do partly from home so that I can still take care of my kids. And that's when I take some night classes at FIT here in New York City. Mm-hmm. And I learned about design and also about gemology, the stones, how to recognize the stones. I also tried to learn how to make the jewelry itself, so soldering and metal smithing, but that I realized that I cannot do it at all. So I thought it's best if I focus on design, and I found very, very talented artisans that have been doing it for 40 years, and I trust them much more than myself to make the jewelry.
Well, that's part of the art, knowing what your strong points are and really putting the energy there and outsourcing the rest to someone else who can do it.
Absolutely.
Better. Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Yes. So when you first started to design, where was your inspiration coming from? Like, what did you have as references. I know you guys traveled a lot in India in the past, and I know you have this sort of gypsy soul just from the way you dress. So where does your inspiration come from?
So at first, when I first started designing, it was really I knew that I wanted particular pieces for myself. It was very simple. My first thing was a heart. I knew I wanted a very nice heart with the name of my children on it, and so that's what I made. But after that, I was very inspired by ancient Egypt. I love to look at the remains of Tutankhamun's tomb, or going to the Met and looking at all the beautiful Egyptian amulets. So for me, the jewelry is not only beautiful to look at, but it's also a talisman. So it has meaning. You wear it as a reminder. A loved one gave it to you, or you bought it yourself, because you accomplished something, and it's a reminder of your strength or of your love. Or I like that in jewelry. So I get the inspiration from sort of ancient times, but it's actual because it means something to the person that wears it. And I'm also very inspired by very simple symbols. So one bracelet that I made I didn't make it. That's the thing. For jewelry, it's a decorative art. I'm not an artist inventing anything. I just glean things that are already here, that have been around for thousands of years. Symbols like an eye, a heart, a simple circle, a medallion, and I adapt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think on one level, I understand what you're saying. But when I think about this work and coming up with the ideas and channeling these inspirations from the past, we are still the means, whether intellectual or spiritual, to get energy.
So where does the energy come from?
Well, not just the energy come from, but you being the channel for this energy as
Oh,
well.
yes. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. And for that, I guess I do have to thank my parents, and the fact that we have traveled a lot as young children. My parents took us around to see the world, and it really has opened my mind to different cultures and different. There's not just one way. There's so many infinite beautiful things in the world, and I like to have a little bit of all of them.
Yeah, and the energy behind the stones, I was thinking too, you said you studied some gemology, and you often have these really exquisite uh, stones. Even though some of them are small, you can see they're really of the highest quality.
Yes, absolutely, the highest quality. They're beautiful. They attract the eye. And stone, I'm not so knowledgeable about them, but there are indeed many stones that have even therapeutic attributes, like amber has been used for hundreds of years to relieve pain. Like, you put these amber necklaces on babies, it's supposed to help them with their pain. Or certain crystals are supposed to keep you calmer. Jade in China, they put the jade against your body. It's supposed to protect you as well. So yes, there's a lot of meaning behind the stones.
And tell us about Gazza Ladra. Where did you get that name from? The meaning behind that name?
So Gazza Ladra is a thieving magpie. It's a bird that's attracted to shiny objects. And one day I was in Rome with my very good friend Asia. And so I'm always attracted to shiny things. So we were in the street, and a woman walked by with a beautiful necklace, and I instantly saw the necklace, and I went up to the lady. I said, "Wow, your necklace is beautiful." And Asia said, "But Sonny, you are really a Gazza Ladra." I said, "Yes, I am." And it was like a revelation. That's me. Yeah. So that's how it came about. And I was looking for a name for my brand, and I didn't want to use my own name because so many people do it. And then I don't know. It feels a little bit pretentious almost. So I was very happy to find this name that has nothing to do with me. But it's funny because now in the Diamond District, where I get my jewelry made on 47th Street, some people think my name is Gazza and my last name is Ladra. So they say, "Hey, Gazza, I have some nice stones today," and it's fun. It's fun.
It's your spirit animal now is your second name.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to have to walk through 47th Street with you at some point. You know, I didn't realize you were there that often because it's so near to me, first of all, where I live. And I mean, I know that street very well, having worked there in the past at some point.
Really?
Yeah, so that's another story we'll talk about offline. But yes, we should walk through there and we'll just see who we know.
I would love that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yes.
But I was also thinking when I look at your work about artists like Alexander Calder, who from time to time created jewelry pieces. Do you know other fine artists who have made wearable art like jewelry?
Yes, absolutely. Pablo Picasso actually made some really nice jewels, very very rough and very antique. Antique, yes, like almost ancient Egyptian, ancient Greek looking. He made some nice medallions, beautiful, and I think in 24 karat gold, which makes them even more beautiful to me because they're so bright. But yes, he did some beautiful pieces. Also, Louise Bourgeois did some jewelry. It's not my style so much, but I recognize she's an amazing artist, and she has this big spider, and then she has a necklace that looks like a shackle.
Wow.
So those are the two that come to mind. Yeah. So, but their jewelry are more like amazing statement pieces, really works of art. But the jewelry that I make it on purposefully so that it's not too big and so that it's very comfortable, because I want it to be worn every day. It sort of becomes a part of you. And when a jewel is too big, then you feel it's too heavy. It starts becoming annoying.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. You're right. It's not so easy to forget.
Yes.
And sometimes a collection of jewel will come to auction. I mean, not necessarily stuff like Louis Bourgeois, but bigger pieces that are more, I guess, valuable in terms of the market. What advice would you give in terms of collecting jewelry or building a collection? Because I'm sure you have a little bit of a collection of your own as inspiration and as your own wearable stuff. What would you tell people in terms of that?
I mean, I would tell people, really, it has to be what they love. Of course, you're buying something. For a collection, it can be an investment, and jewelry is an investment because gold doesn't lose its value. Fine, it fluctuates a little bit, but you can always resell it. But it's really what people love. If you love the piece, then you get it. Don't get it only if you think you're going to make money on it. And I think in general, in it should be like that. When you buy a painting or a sculpture, it's better to buy something because it talks to you, it makes you vibrate, than just a pure investment. But otherwise, no, jewelries from big names, obviously big brand names are always a good idea. Tiffany, Cartier, or jewels that belonged to famous women. It's nice. Like they had the Liz Taylor sale a few years back. That was amazing. And you're really owning a piece of history. And it's nice to know, oh, she wore it and I'm wearing it too.
Yes. I mean, I guess the days of the big industrialist buying, like, former crown jewels are over. And a lot of these things are already, I guess,
in museums or in private hands. But sometimes they do pop up again. But yes, I personally, I don't really actually buy, because as a jeweler, I say, okay, I have to make it myself. I have to have it made. But if I were to invest in a collectible, I would definitely buy something from ancient Egypt.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good call. I was just thinking about a colleague of mine on 47th Street, because we talked about the value of jewelry. And he said there's a woman who regularly comes to him every few years, and she has like a massive engagement ring to resell. And he says, I've decided she's in the business of marriage. She's in the business of engaging and marrying and divorcing and reselling. I mean,
That's
it's kind of
funny.
funny to think about. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
so how did the pandemic affect your business or your creative output? I mean, I don't know if you were in lockdown or if you moved around. I guess you haven't been traveling to Europe that much, but
No,
or
so I was very lucky. I was able to go to Europe last summer, so that was very
Mhm.
good. And in fact, I do most of my business in the summertime,
Mhm.
because my cousin has a store in Sardinia, next to Porto Cervo in Italy. And
Nice.
yes, and I set up my jewels there, and I sell them there all summer. I had an actually very successful summer because people
Mhm.
haven't been in they had been in lockdown, they had not been spending, and now they were out and it was summer, and woohoo, they
Yeah,
bought
yeah, yeah.
themselves jewelry, and that was great. Now the rest of the year has been very slow indeed, very slow. But creatively it has been good. I have so many ideas flowing in my head more than before, so that's nice.
Yes, yes. And I mean, I don't know how people are selling these days, but you sell mostly online during this time, or how does it
Yes,
work if
mostly
you're
online.
not?
So before I used to do a lot of pop-ups,
Mm-hmm.
Dubai, London, Paris, but obviously now that's
Mm-hmm.
not possible. So now, yes, it's
Mm-hmm.
online, and word of mouth, friend of a friend of a friend of an
Mm-hmm.
aunt of a grandma of a... That's how it
Yes, yes.
goes. They send me people, and yes, so I sell, direct to consumer, I would say. Although I would love to
Right.
be in more stores.
Yeah, well, I think it would be good if we, in general, meaning us, in the art world or in the fashion world or in the jewelry design world, we should start collaborating more and sharing our contacts so that even though we're not meeting in person, we can still maybe have like one of those Zoom online, kind of get-togethers and just have a cocktail party where we share. I mean, I could think of 3 or 4 girls off the top of my head if I told them, we're meeting with a jewelry designer. You want to hang out for an hour on Saturday, let's say, I mean,
That's
just
fun.
something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, just something like that. And we exchange ideas kind of like this and just see, if someone's interested for the future.
Yes, that's a fun
Mm,
idea. Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Well, let's talk offline again. I mean, I don't know if there's something I didn't ask you that you wanted to share.
No, but one thing that I like also, when you think of when I think of my job, uh, I think it's beautiful to create pieces that don't. There's no pollution involved really. Well, of course the excavation of gold is not ideal, but a lot of times I work with recycled gold. So people
Mhm.
bring in their pieces, that they don't want anymore, and the gold is melted and you make it new. That I think is quite beautiful, also to create new objects from old ones. The
Yes.
idea of reusing is very nice,
Mm-hmm.
and the idea that a piece of jewelry can be passed on for many generations. If you like it and you don't melt it, it can come from your great great grandmother, and you still can wear it because the metal is so sturdy, and I like that idea.
Yes, yes, yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. I like that idea too of somehow having the ancestral spirit
Mhm.
passed on through the object. Yes, for sure. Well, I can't wait till we can see each other again.
Yes.
Hopefully, it will be in the coming year. I think, restaurants are opening supposedly this weekend in New York, which is a good sign.
Yes,
And when it warms up, like you said, perhaps that burst of energy will come back to all of
I
us.
hope so. I
and
hope so,
and help
Nicolette.
yes, yes. Well, I mean, I have a few friends. Some of them are positive, some of them are like, especially some of my European friends, they're like, oh my god, when this thing is over and all of this income that people are getting from the government dries up, what exactly is going to happen,
Yes,
you
it's
know
pretty scary times indeed. Indeed.
yeah, yeah. Well, we keep on. I mean, what else can we do?
Exactly, we keep on, and I mean, we are so lucky, in fact, just the simple things of having a roof and having an income and having food and having our healthy children, and it's such a blessing. So really, I can't complain, but it is a horrible time for so many people.
Yes, and I think you're so right. Just to remember the basic blessings.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. I'm right now. I have just about exploded in my frustration about not moving anywhere. Like I hate feeling so locked
Yeah.
down. It's not that we can't move anywhere, but there's nothing to do. And I mean, at the end of the day, nobody really wants us to move.
No,
Yeah,
they don't.
yeah,
No, it's
yeah.
crazy.
Anyways, well, I look forward to speaking to you again in person, and I wish you all the best for this coming week. Big kiss to the family.
Thank you, Nico. You too. Hope to see
Yeah, and we'll
you.
talk
Bye.
soon.
Bye.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye. Well, now you've heard from the second half of the wonderfully named twin sisters, Joy and Sunny. Hopefully this week will turn out to be just that for you, joyful and sunny. In New York City, I think we expect much more snow, but luckily we do have a lot of sun here. So I hope you find your joy as well. Have a great week and join us again soon for another episode of the Bees and Honey podcast.